What's going on YouTube? It's Texans Take over here, back with another video. In today's video, we are doing another Texans 7-round mock draft. Yesterday we did the wheel, so this time we are just going to do a standard mock draft. We are going to change the website just so you know the big board's a little different. Obviously, I have my own big board that I'm conjuring up, but I think in the time being, it's best to kind of go through different websites to best simulate these draft boards because obviously PFF isn't perfect. Obviously, stick to the model's not perfect, but I believe this one does get updated pretty regularly, and I really like the creator that does use stick to the model. So um, we'll use this one to begin. Texans are at pick 28, and we have a lot of flexibility here. For example, if a Kenyon Sadiq starts to slide, that could be a potential pick around the 15 range if he's available there, or the 17 range if he's available there. We could definitely look to trade up for Kenyon Sadiq. We could look to trade up for um, you know Caden McDonald. We could look to just stick and pick and get Caleb Banks. We could look to draft a TJ Parker in the first round. A lot of different scenarios to play out here. And we'll see if Sadiq is available past these next picks. If he makes it past 15, then that's something I'm going to explore. Maybe we try to trade with the Buccaneers here, but that would be quite pricey. I think we'd have to give up yeah, you'd have to give up a lot to move up with this Buccaneers team. So hopefully they don't take Kenyon Sadiq here. They don't. So the Lions at 17 don't need a tight end, but the team behind them do. So we'll go 28 and 59 and try to pick up 205 and 213, which I think is fair. And it is accepted, so we are able to move up to pick number 17 to go get our guy, which is Mr. Kenyon Sadiq there at pick number 17, which I really like. I think fills a need. And you can do a lot of different creative things with him. So really excited for that pick there. Glad he fell the way that he did. We still have pick 38 with this. As Caleb Banks goes at 36, which is someone I would have considered, obviously. But I think you can trade down here. 48 and 79 is intriguing. Um, you know, I like the idea of trading with the Eagles, who have like 54 and 68. Um, and it's a little too difficult to do. Can I do this? Oh, it's accepted. We give up a fourth from next year, but we pick up 54 and 68. So, we moved down a little bit, but we have back-to-back picks there to try to go out and get hopefully a guard or a Golde or a Rodriguez or a Lou to really start out this draft on the right foot. So Basantis and Pregnon both go there, but Jake Gold is available to us, and then we wait 10 picks to try to go out and probably get our center. Logan Jones is there. Where's Slaughter? He's all the way down at 100. Sam Hecht at 107. Zune at 110. Jennings Dunker could be an intriguing pick there at uh, where we're at right now at 54. But I think at this spot, actually, yeah. Mm. You can find linebackers down the board that I like a Josiah Trotter, who hopefully doesn't go before his range there. I like Grayson Holton down the board, so if we can trade out of 69 or 68, then that would be nice. So we are going to go with Connor Liu here just to secure our center. I think the best one in this draft. Jake Golde goes there, Rodriguez goes there, um, and Josiah Trotter still available to us, which I think is the best pick available. So we are going to do that. And then if we're talking about this edge class, I like Denied and Sutton. I like Kieran Crawford down the board. So I'm not going to, push the idea of an edge here, although we definitely could. But for our picks so far, we've gone interior offensive line, interior linebacker, and a tight end. But I think you could trade down, get some more draft capital. I like the 73 and 132 or 78 and 130. I think 78 and 113 makes the most sense for us. So that's what we are going to do here. Um, and at 78, I think you can take your sorry, developmental guard here if you want to. Um, yeah, I think Caleb Rutledge is probably the smart pick if you're trying to develop a good team. because that means you're able to develop a guard behind Wyatt Teller to become a Wyatt Teller, which Keelan Rutledge could certainly do. Um, so we will go with him here at 78. I like the idea of Mike Washington as well, but I'll hold off on that because I've done it a lot recently in mock drafts. Um, and then here at 106, I did like the idea of a Grayson Holton, but I did side against it just because I like the options down the board here. I think Keon Crawford makes a lot of sense for us. So we are going to take him here at 106. Just really good length, really good size. And I think he's a really good DPR guy, which is just a good pass rusher. Um, so we could look to bring him in to develop behind um, Daniil Hunter for whatever he does eventually leave for Kieran Crawford to step into that role, and if not, be a really good depth piece on that defensive line. And here at 113, I think Chris Mclellan does make the most sense. We do need an interior defensive lineman. So I think that should be the pick, unless we can pick up something like 118. We'll see what we have. We have 113, 167, 205, 213, 243. So maybe we pick that with. How do we get into like, does someone have 116 and 130? No. The value of these picks aren't really dropping off too much. Uh, I mean, yeah, it doesn't look like we're really going to be able to do anything. We could pick up 181 and drop 5 spots and then move up a couple, but I think that's a little too risky. Um, I think if you do something like this, I could force it. Because I think this is something that might go through in real life. So yeah, we'll do this. We'll force it. Because I think this is something that could definitely be going through in real life. So um, one 118 and 128 for 113 and 167 I think makes some sense. And at the spot we are going to go with Chris McClellan here at 118, and then I do have my eyes set on a tight end with this next pick, as he's still available in Oscar Delp. So we do have a considerable amount till our next pick. But I think this draft is going well so far. We've made 7 selections and we have 3 left. Guys that you can just ask to step in and do a role, um, or develop who have good intangibles. So that's really all you're looking for here. Um, Efficient's price stock could be an interesting option just because he has really good size for a corner at 6'3", 196. Good arm length too. So if you want a developmental piece at corner, that could be something you look at. If you want a um, player to develop behind EJ Speed, Caleb Elam's or could definitely be one. And you know what? I'll go with that there. I think you could utilize that to be a very good piece. I like the idea of an Aaron Anderson. Could have been the pick there, but we'll hold off on that for now. Here at 213, I'm going to go with the player the Texans met with consistently, and that is Mr. Adam Randall. Look at the height and weight. I think he could be a productive back in the NFL. Transition from wide receiver, so he still has some developing to do, but I think developing behind a Dave Montgomery could be something that really enhances his development. So it seems like we've addressed everything so far. Maybe a wide receiver in there. Did we go with an interior defensive lineman? Yeah, we went with Chris McClellan, who's a 3 tech. Okay. Don't mind that at all. I like the way this draft has gone. I think you could look to a lot of different things here. I think Devin Eastern to be, your run stuffer could be an interesting option. Um, I mean, obviously Eric Gentry has some of the best intangibles, but you would like that weight to bump up. But he is like 6'7", so there's that. In terms of wide receivers, you could go with someone like a Jalen Waltall if you want that connection. I think the Texans will pick him up as an undrafted free agent, to be honest. Um, but maybe like a Caden Legend, who's really a good slot receiver, could be an intriguing option there, or a Caleb Douglas, who's fast and has good size. You could look at. We'll do that to round out this draft. We'll go with Caleb Douglas out of Texas Tech to round out this class. So in totality, we do go with Sadiq at 17 to trade up, Connor Liu at 54, Charter at 68, Rutledge at 78, Crawford at 106. McClellan at 118, Delp at 128, Elam's Orr at 205, Randall at 213, Douglas at 243. So um, you see the idea here. Sadiq begins to fall, then um, that is when that selection is going to be put through. Four trades, which I think is very Casario like, moving around the board, giving up draft capital from next year that he's just gonna be able to get from next year. So no concerns there. If you want to look at the first round, you can see really small actually, but Jeremiah Love went at 7. Um, Sonny Styles actually went at 2. Fano goes at 12 to the Titans, who traded down with the Cowboys. Um, and then Dynaman goes at 28, which is where we would have picked. But I really like the idea of Kenyon Sadiq in this Texans offense. So had a lot of fun doing this one. I think this is probably the most fun I've had so far. Connor Liu in the second round was our only pick there. In the third round, we had Josiah Trotter and Rutledge. In the fourth, we had Crawford, McClellan, and Delp. In the fifth, we didn't make any selections, which is very Casero like. We know he doesn't like picking in the fifth round. In the sixth, we went with Elam's or Randall. And then in the seventh, we rounded it out with Caleb Douglas. So, yeah, let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. If you do enjoy these videos, please be sure to like, subscribe. Anything helps trying to grow the channel. New goal of 750 subs, and then we grow again to hopefully 1,000 and just continue pushing forward. But um, it's definitely draft season. The draft is about a month away, so going to be a lot of draft content. Maybe start to do best fits and stuff like that instead of these mock drafts. But for now, it's just mock drafts. But I do really hope y'all enjoy the content. And if you do enjoy the content, please be sure to like, subscribe. And as always, it's Texans Takeover, and I'm out. Peace.